my Pinky Pals, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Alicia, my friends call me Pinky, and today we are going to be drawing a princess, I guess. I wanted to do a bit of a princess series, just of art, not like necessarily on the channel, but I wanted to make some princess prints. So I decided I would start today with Sleeping Beauty and kind of go from there, see where it goes. I don't know, we'll see. I just kind of love princesses, so I thought it was a good idea, and I've really been enjoying drawing really cute girls lately, and that's where my headspace is, so that's what I decided to do. I have Sleeping Beauty planned, and Cinderella kind of sketched out, and The Little Mermaid. So we'll see. I'm not basing them off of Disney. I'm really just kind of interpreting my own version of them. I will say it was kind of hard to differentiate between Cinderella and Aurora. They're both very similar, and I wanted them all to be in like very nice ball gowns. So, I mean, it's kind of very similar, I guess. So with Aurora's style, I went more with like deep blues and purples to, you know, signify the fact that she's sleeping. And then there's a lot of like kind of shimmer, sparkles, you know, star type things. And of course her eyes are closed. She still has like the beautiful blonde hair, and I've put some roses in her hair as well. So that was kind of my thinking on it. This was a big project for me. I decided to do it with the drawing assist to make it a little bit easier, I guess. I don't really know if it helped any, because I continually like just kept getting it wrong and forgetting to put it on and forgetting to take it off. It was kind of a pain, but it does make it, you know, easier in the long run, because I'm only essentially drawing half of the drawing, really. But I don't generally do a lot of like face on things. I don't know, I don't like it as much as like a 3/4 view or something. Again, I struggled with the hands, because I always do, and it drives me insane, and I struggled with the dress, but it's fine. I think it turned out really well to begin with, and then it kind of got bad after, and then it worked out better. So started out good, then got bad, but then I think it got better. I do really enjoy the hair. I was trying to think of like ways to draw it. I don't know. I swear, I say it all the time, but I'm still really struggling with like what my art style is. So I'll draw hair and I'll be like, oh, I love how I did that. Or I'll draw anything and be like, oh, I love how I did that. And then not know how I did it after the fact. I don't know if that happens to anyone else, but it's like I draw something and think, oh, that's great, that's gonna be my new style. And then I'm just like, I don't know how I did that. So I guess it's not. So this will be my new style. Right, come up with this idea. So I don't know if that's just me, but it definitely seems to be a me problem, that's for sure. One thing I've been really enjoying is the lineless style, so I hope you guys are liking that too. I think I just really enjoy it. I still kind of struggle with like contrast and stuff, and I play with colors after the fact, and I end up getting like a really nice effect that I really liked. I did keep it in so that you guys can see that, like, even though I have these colors, I kind of changed my mind and went something else with them. So, you know, if you like the original colors better, feel free to let me know. I don't mind. And yeah, so I had a lot of fun with her. I kept it fairly minimal, to be honest. Like I kind of had an idea of doing like a whole bunch of really like cool things, like maybe having a background or like a spindle kind of a thing or things like that, but I don't know. I just kind of wanted to draw like a very basic person on a white background, or like, I think I put her on a blue background, but you know what I mean, like a very basic drawing. And I think it turned out pretty good. I did show the sketch. I've been asked before, like, why I don't show sketches. It's usually just because it takes so long, and my videos then end up being really long. and I never know how fast to make them or how much to cut out. So I mean, I cut some stuff out, I sped this up some, but it's still like quite long. So, you know, if you didn't grab a cup of something to drink, feel free to grab that now. I will be here for a little bit. I did cut some out, I swear, but at the same time, I don't know. I find it hard to know what people want to see and what they don't want to see, I guess. And sometimes people want to see the whole thing. I don't know. But this is kind of this is how I sketch it. I did think about giving her a crown, and then I thought maybe they'd all have crowns, but then I was like, you know, I think like a crown of roses, I think would be more apropos for Sleeping Beauty, or Aurora, or Briar Rose, Oliphant. So many names. We've got like princes in the Disney world that have no names, just Prince or Prince Charming, and then here comes Aurora with like a bunch of names. So yeah, I think that kind of suited her a little bit better than having a crown. And she's you know, in most of the movie not even a princess, so she's a like girl in the forest. I've never actually read the like original Sleeping Beauty story. I should. It would be fun to read, I'm sure, especially in comparison to what we have now. And I'm just essentially, again, trying to remember to put on that draw assist, but I'm just blocking in my colors to begin with. I always make sure to put I work in layers, I guess, and I know that that's crazy to hear for me, because I don't generally, I'm not good with layers, let's just say. I know I trigger a lot of people with my layer etiquette, and I did a lot of layers, so I'm blocking out a lot of stuff, and I work from like the back to the front. So even with the hair, like the hair that goes behind the head, I put behind, and then I'll do a new layer for the one side part, and then a new layer for the other side part. Anything that layers on top, I always want to make sure that I have it on a different layer. It just makes it easier for me, and that's just the way it is. I really love that hair color when I just put it on the way it is now, but I don't know. I think I changed it. I'm pretty sure I changed it, but I do really like that. I may have to come back to that hair color at some point. I love like a light pink hair color on people in general. And yeah, so I'm just blocking everything in, and then I do tend to kind of tackle everything kind of one layer at a time, and I usually start with the skin as well. And in this case, I wanted to have like a really deep blue dress, and I wanted it to go from pink to blue because that's the like joke in the movie. Although I'm not basing her off of the Disney version, I still just like what I like, you know. And I love that part in the movie where the fairies are like, make it pink, make it blue, make it pink, make it blue. I still really like that part. So I thought that would be kind of fun, and then I ended up changing it anyway, and I made it more of a purple, which it still looked really good like that, but that was not the original idea. But yeah, so I have all the different layers kind of going, and then I'm blocking in all of my colors. I kind of got tired of that, so I thought I'm going to check and see what I look like on here with the blush. And then I was getting frustrated, and I switched to just filming on my desk. And I didn't film on my desk because I didn't want to have a struggle with my camera, because I'm still not in my office properly yet, so I didn't want that to happen. But at the end of the day, I just came to my desk because it was driving me nuts. So yeah, so now we're switching here, and I'm just doing some shading, and I don't know, I started making her very like kind of muted pastel, and then I just kind of wanted to go a little bit more bold with her. So I do end up like adjusting a lot of these colors and a lot of the hues and things like that as well. Like I even use like the tools to do it, which is not something I normally do, but why not? So I do try to do some different things, and I just really wanted to get more contrast out of her, and with her blonde hair it just was making it kind of harder. And the nose I struggled with. I kind of struggled with a few little things, but the nose, I don't know. I don't know what I was doing with the lips either, to be honest, because I'm just like, you don't draw lips, what are you doing? And then I realized that I didn't like them, and I do get rid of them, but not right now. I leave it for a hot minute. And yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I'm working on the face first, and I'm working on the skin first, because that's kind of my favorite part. And especially the face. I love working on faces. So I realized that I actually don't like doing faces where the eyes are closed. So that's fun. That was something new I learned about myself. I don't know. It's just boring when the eyes are closed. I just didn't really enjoy it. And that my eyes are my favorite part. So, and that's it. But every area is pretty much the same. I do a new layer, and I use the airbrush to just block in some more colors, like just the shadows in different places that I think it should go. I keep the line art on for most of this, especially in the beginning, and then I turned it off almost exclusively. I kind of forgot about it, which it happens. But yeah, I just block everything off, and when I can, I put on the drawing assist to try and make it a little bit easier on me. And then I go back in, and I usually use the same color to either add in some details or add in some extra shading if it's not kind of contrasty enough for me. For the hair, I used it a lot to make like the chunks of hair and then the hair strands and things like that as well. I even go in and I do some highlighting, which I don't normally do. I will say most of my art is pretty flat, but that's just kind of the way I like it. I prefer to have texture than like a 3D element, I guess. And I don't know, I just don't do a lot of highlighting, but I do in this case. And I do a lot of like bright kind of light shines on it, I guess, because I wanted that like deep blue and then like the inkiness kind of, and then have the sky on top of it with the stars. Like I wanted that kind of a look. So I do have some pretty bold kind of lighting. I don't know, it's not really lighting effects, but like shines coming off of it. And I do like an overlay on the dress that I think is really kind of pretty and just swooshy, and I don't know, you'll see. I guess. I don't know if you'll see. It depends on whether or not you get to the end. So yeah, I did all of that, and I just really kept on building everything up. That's pretty much how it always works whenever I do my like line art or like blow my lineless style. Especially, I find when you're doing lineless, you can't really, unless you're gonna do a completely flat lineless style where you have a very like obvious split of colors. It's harder to make things look like they stand out, that they're their own individual elements, like with the neck and the face, for example. It's a good example for that. Like you need to have kind of that deep contrast, as well as the deep highlights, the deep lowlights. Like you really have to build on that, I find. At least, I mean, maybe you don't, but at least I have to whenever it comes to coming up with what I want, or at least what I want my art to look like. And so I find that that's kind of the way. And I do like a lot of the texture as well. So in this piece, I used really only 3 brushes. I used the 6B pencil, I used the studio pen, and then I used the soft brush airbrushing. And they're all from just Procreate. And then I used some large freckles for like the glitter and stuff is what it came from. And I don't know where I got those. They were a paid pack somewhere. I do apologize, I can't remember. And it doesn't have, like, most of my imported stuff has where it came from, but this one just is sitting under imported, so I do not know. I apologize. But yeah, I mean, it's the first time I've ever used that pack, I think, so that was fun. Um, but yeah, so I'm trying something a little bit new. I hope it worked, and I just wanted to have fun drawing, and that's what I did. So yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. I like the idea of it. I did go pretty basic, I think, on the dress. Maybe not so much the top part of the dress, but the bottom, and I thought it just kind of needed, like, the dress is kind of covered with a lot of stuff, especially in the bottom, so I think it just needed that. I think it looked good being mostly plain. I was trying here with a few neck options, and I don't know. I can never draw necks. I don't know. There's so many things I can't draw. I've started to do like tutorials and things like that as well on things that I don't normally draw, or just things to get back. Like, I used to draw a lot of semi-realistic, leaning more towards realistic drawing, and I kind of got away from it, and it's very much so one of those, like, if you don't use it, you lose it. Like, it's like I've been stylizing so much that I kind of want to get back to the basics of how to draw again, if that makes sense. So it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm gonna maybe start taking some more tutorials and things on anatomy and proportions and things like that again, just to do something, I guess, like just to kind of bone up on things. But yeah, so with her skin, I wanted to bring in a lot of like purples and pinks, and especially with the blue of the dress, I wanted that to kind of pop a little bit more, so I used the purple in order to do that. And I think it actually gave it a really nice, like, hue about it. And especially on the arms, I don't know, I really like the way the arms turned out. The hands, of course, are the hands, but I was able to hide most of that with other stuff. So, you know, I can live with the hands, they're fine. But I essentially just kind of go back and forth between using the sketching pencil and using the airbrush, and then smudging. The smudge was definitely my friend today, and I did a lot of smudging. I did a lot of everything, really. I did a lot of everything. So, yeah, I mean, it worked out well, I think. And then I kind of, I normally do very hard shading, I guess, especially under the chin, I noticed. And I wanted to do a little bit more of a gradient. So I tried that out. It kind of freaks me out a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm not completely not happy with the way it turned out. And yeah, I'd say the only thing that I can think is the fact that, like, her waist is not that much bigger than her neck, which is weird. I don't know. I mean, it seems like, I think it looks fine to me, but I'm just noticing that now. It's a corset, you know? Those things suck you up real tight. I was just like right up there, so they button it up. So I'm gonna call it that. And yeah, I don't know what that was. Anyway, that was what it was. So yeah, and that's pretty much it. I hope you liked the process. I had a lot of fun just drawing again, and I think this is probably going to be my schedule for at least a little while, is just doing a video every other week, just because of my office still not being done. I still need to wallpaper it, and then I finished painting it. I need to wallpaper it, and then I should be good and I can get that set up. And then going forward, it will be a lot easier to shoot videos. It's just right now, because I don't have my dedicated workspace anymore, it's a little bit harder. So I'm thinking that this will be the way it'll be for a little bit. So there will be bi-weekly videos, weekly if I can manage it, but definitely bi-weekly until I can get back into my office and having a dedicated workspace. And hopefully you guys are okay with that. I'm sorry if you're not, but it won't be for very long, I'm sure. I mean, I say that, but it's been like 3 months. With my back, it's kind of hard to like do the things that need to be done. So unfortunately, I do sometimes spend my day in bed in pain, and that makes it harder to accomplish things. So sorry about that. It just kind of is what it is, unfortunately. But otherwise, what else is new? There's not a lot new. I do have some books that I'm working on, and of course I have my Patreon, so if you're interested in doing some tutorials with us every month, you're welcome to join in. It's only $5 a month, and you get a tutorial, and then we chat, and you get to vote on what we're doing, and other stuff. I do like printables and coloring pages, things like that as well. So you're welcome to join in for that. And yeah, I'm still doing digital stickers with a friend of mine. We are on our 4th month, I guess. Yeah, our 4th. Our April release was just out yesterday, so yeah, that's going really fun and really good. I'm loving drawing a bunch of dinos. I love doing like the doodly kind of things. That's kind of why I started my channel, was because I just wanted to doodle and give everybody, doodly inspiration. But I also really love drawing people, especially like women, girls. That's kind of my thing to draw. I just really enjoy it. So I think I want to bring more of that to my channel and just have more fun with creating in general. I also wouldn't mind doing more like craft projects and things like that too. So, let me know if there's anything that you would like to see me do, or if you have any suggestions for videos. I am happy to get them in the comment section below as well. And yeah, I never know what to say during these, and I'm already at the point where I would normally be saying, okay, bye guys. But there's still more of this video. It just keeps going. I hope that you are enjoying it. I'm enjoying watching it back. It's interesting to see my process, because I think I have a process, and then I watch these videos and I'm just like, I don't have a process at all. I don't think I know what I'm even doing. I just kind of like go here, go there, go around here, go around there. Realize that I forgot the sleeves on these dresses. And I'm like, I guess I'll keep going on something else. I don't know. And yeah, taking the line art off, it actually looks pretty good. I'm really happy with it. The only thing, I know I do change the chin. I don't know if I've already done that or not, but I definitely do that. I don't know. I really like these leaves. I think it was the color. It's almost like a bluey green, and I just really enjoyed them. There you go. It's like a little tidbit. I enjoyed making leaves. I did. I enjoyed it. And yeah. I think the only thing I didn't enjoy about this was drawing in the roses. I hate drawing roses. I shouldn't say that. I like drawing everything, but I just find they're so like finicky. There's so much, and I mean, I didn't do them justice. I should have done a better job, admittedly so. But after 4 hours, it gets to the point where you're just exhausted. And you're just like, get this done. I feel like that's the problem with a lot of my stuff. Anytime I do anything, I'm always just like, oh my gosh, I've been drawing for ever. I need to not draw anymore. Yeah, and this took me about 4 hours and 11, well, not about, it took me 4 hours and 11 minutes, according to my Procreate. So, there you have it. But I do think that's kind of my problem. And it probably would be easier if I could film over the course of a couple of days, but I generally have 1 day to film, 1 day to edit, and that's it. So, this is what you get. I'm sorry. You get me rushing through the flowers. But that's the only thing I rush through, I swear. But anyway, so how is everybody else? Let me know in the comment section below how you guys are doing. I feel like I'm so isolated now I work from home now completely, and we essentially are homeless. We don't have I'm not homeless. I mean like workplace homeless. We don't have an office. So the new office is being worked on, and until then we're all just working from home until who knows when. I think they said like the end of this year maybe, but they said that last year, so I don't know. But yeah, so I pretty much do not see other human beings or talk to them. So if you'd like to let me know what's going on in the comments, or if you're on my Patreon, you want to leave a chat, let me know. Feel free. I would appreciate it because I'm so alone. I'm so bored. And I do apologize for the lighting. I know it's a little bit dark. You can pretty much just only see my screen. I don't have very good lighting up in here. Everything is just works against me in this non-office office when it comes to doing my art. But you know what? It works with with the iPad, you can clearly see. The only thing you don't see is the desk around, and that's not a bad thing. That's probably a good thing. Who knows what I've got on that desk? Probably paint all over the place. And there we go. There was a point where I was like, maybe I want to keep some of the line art. I like the sketchiness of a piece of art, I guess. Like, that's why I like traditional art. Whenever I'm doing any kind of traditional, I always I erase the lines, the sketch lines, of course, but I don't entirely erase them, you do your best job, but there's always going to be lines that are there, and I think I like that. I like that it just kind of stays, if that makes sense. It's just, I don't know, it's like it gives the art a little bit more fluidity, I think, and maybe that's just me. I don't know. It could just be me, guys. That is very true. A lot of things are probably just me. But I think the arms turned out really good, and I just kind of, I don't know, I like the idea of it. I think that's why I like using the 6B pencil for a lot of my inner lines and stuff, because it looks very sketchy. Well, maybe pun intended, I don't know there. But it looks kind of sketchy. I like it. And I do love the purpley pink contrast. I think that worked out really well as well. And man, I can't believe that I'm just now getting to the dress. I did the color. I don't know. I didn't really care for the color. I do change it, I think, at least once. And then I do some different effects and stuff as well, which helps kind of get me where I'm going. That's one thing I love about digital art. It's so easy to change things, and the tools allow you to really kind of give it a go and get the effect that you want without, sometimes, if you're like me, without even knowing how to do the effect. But yeah, I think it turned out really good. The bodice, I tried to be very detailed with that. I think it worked. I think it does look quite detailed. I think it looks really intricate, I hope. Anyway, I had a lot of fun with the lace in between. I thought that was really cute, especially with the drawing assistant. It was a lot of fun to do that. I don't know why, but it was. And yeah, so this is me finally getting to the dress, and I'm just again blocking out the shaded parts, and I'm just making sure that it's kind of covering everything with the sleeves, especially. I find that it's meant to be, I don't know how to explain it, but when you have poofs of sleeves, I try to always get that look of it just doing something weird, because I find a poof sleeve can just kind of bend at a weird angle, and you're just like, why would it do that? But it does. Maybe I'm just talking foolish, I don't know. I started this, so I started the, what is it called? The skirt of the dress? That seems weird to call it a skirt when it's a dress, but the dress skirt. Skirt dress? The skirt of the dress. The dress of the skirt. The bottom part of the dress I started on. And I really wasn't liking it. I just really didn't like it. I don't know, guys. I really struggled with liking it. And maybe you're sitting there going, yeah, Pink, we also hate it. Which would be fair. But it does get better, and I think the finished product looks really good. It just definitely was a process. It was not an immediate, oh, that looks good. It took me a long time. There was a lot of layers built into this. Like, I'm not even lying. I know I don't talk a lot. Like, I don't generally use layers, although I can't say that anymore, I don't think, because now doing lineless, all I do is layers. So for me to be like, yeah, I never use layers, it's starting to be a lie at this point, because for lineless, I do use layers, and I use it like crazy. But, yeah, so it was like layer on layer on layer on layer on layer on layer on layer, and there was a lot, but I do think it turned out really pretty. I actually really enjoyed the dress, and I really enjoyed the way the hair looks once I finished it as well. I increased saturation on a lot of this, and I think it turned out really well. Sorry if you can hear my little puppy dog feet. I don't know what they're doing down there. Shaking. I am sitting up here alone in my living room, or my office. Well, my computer is, my personal computer is right now anyway. And I'm sitting up here like day in, day out when I'm done work, on the weekends, and the dogs literally have had nothing to do with me. They just keep on like hanging out in my mother's room, and it's really rude. It's like they forget I'm alive, and then they'll see me and they go nuts. They're like, oh my god, I forgot you lived here. And it's kind of funny at the same time, but I'm just like, wow, how rude, you two. Meanwhile, my dog in the morning will like go outside and then come back inside and freak out trying to find where I am. But when we could be together, she's like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna hang out with grandma. So that's that. This whole part was, like I said, guys, it was a process. It was a definite process. I liked the way it was going. I did like the pink, but it just kind of didn't fit in right, and it ended up becoming purple. Yeah, and I think it turned out better. I think it definitely worked with the color scheme better, and it's not the paint it pink and the paint it blue and the make it pink and make it blue, but it still gave me the idea I wanted, so it's fine. It's totally fine. But yeah, I struggled with this part. Like, it was a lot of back and forth and blending and adding and a new layer and adding and blending. So bear with. But I think it's important to see that part too, to see how it can start really not good. Like, this is how it started, this is how it ended. You have to keep kind of going at it. And sometimes when it comes to, I mean, I'm digitally painting, but even regular painting, like, sometimes you just gotta keep on keeping on and just trust the process and just keep blending, keep adding, and eventually it'll get there. I don't think that worked for watercolor, but for the most part it does. And then, yeah, so that was pretty much it. I don't want to say I gave up on making it good, but I realized that I was going to cover it almost exclusively in, like, I wanted it to look like there's like a sheer kind of over, like, I don't know what that's called. Is that a petticoat? No. Overcoat? Whatever. It's like a sheer, well, you can see, like a top coat, I guess, or top dress. And I wanted it to have some like patterns and just, I don't know, be very like fanciful. And then, so when I did that, I was like, you know, I'm gonna probably cover up a lot of this stuff, so why am I doing all this work on this dress if I'm just gonna change it, if I'm just gonna color it up? And this is me looking for the perfect thing. This was not it. I couldn't even see it, and then I realized there was hearts in it. I was like, no, I don't want that. There we go. So I wanted to see kind of how it would look once I get everything that I wanted in there, and to see whether or not it was even worth putting more into, like, putting more effort into the back part of it, because if most of it's gonna be covered anyway, right? Like, you gotta pick your battles. Like, that's why I color my skin first, because it's gonna be covered by everything else. So that's what I did, and then I just played with the colors a bit and kind of figured out what I wanted. There was a certain blue. Yeah, I did that blue and I was like, ooh, I love that blue. So I changed it to that blue. And although I did that, and then I think I changed the layer setting anyway, so anyway, I guess that didn't matter. But I got that and I really liked the color of it and I thought it looked really cool, so that's what I went with. And then I worked on the bust, and that definitely had a lot of whatnot and who's-its, and I also wanted to make sure I wanted this like magical thing, I don't know, like magical swirl around it, I don't know, whatever you would call it, a little magic swirl. And again, I was like, I don't know how much of that I'm gonna see, how much of that is gonna look, what. So I added that in, and then I was like, okay, now I can kind of like tackle everything else. I know it's covered up. I can go from there, because I did know that I wanted the top to have a lot of details on it, but I also knew that like I couldn't really add that in if I wasn't going to see any of it, if that made sense. So it was like, why fight with it? Make it work for me. And then, I don't know. So at this point, I was starting to play with the coloring of things, because I just realized that like the dress was so vibrant that everything else kind of got washed out, I guess. And I didn't like it. Then I did try changing like the saturation, the color on the hair and on the face, and I mean this red thing, I was like, am I breaking it? Because it just didn't work. I was like, And then saturation wasn't quite right, and then I thought, I used like the color burn for my thing, for my dress, and I thought, well, if I use that for the top and I use that for the bust, then, or the hair or the face, whatever, maybe it would work for me. So that's what I decided to do. I went to work back on the bust again, and I thought I'll put in all my details that I want, and I'll get all of that kind of sorted. And you see about the lace, I love that. I don't know why, but that just made my day. And yeah, so I kind of got all that. I looked at some other stuff. I tried to let this hair marinate with me, but I just didn't like it. I really didn't like it. So I do change it, and I make it more of a light kind of brown, I guess not really brown, but it's like more, not as yellow, I guess is really what it was. And yeah, so I'll get back to that, but in the meantime, I'm working on the dress, and I think it just, I don't know, I think it turned out really good. I think it turned out really cute, and yeah. So I've got that going. But yeah, so we'll come back to the hair. But for now, I just wanted to work on the bodice, or the, I don't know what this is called, the top part of the dress. Is it bodice? Corset? Anyway, I will say, it's pretty simple design. I don't think that it was, mind-blowing by any means. I mean, I literally, put dots on there and stuff. But I do think it, I try to work from afar, right? So I think it gives the impression of detail without putting in a ton of detail. I guess if that's kind of how I see it. But I think it looked really nice. And I love this royal blue, royal purple. It does give her a very regal kind of a look. And then the little stitching there on the bodice, and then I add more, and not as much detailing on the rest of it, but I do add some. And then I get heavy into the little sparkles and stuff. So I do really enjoy how it ended up looking. I still just really don't like that hair. I'm glad I did change it, because watching this, I think it's just too similar to the skin tone, I guess, especially, I can't speak, especially once I warmed up the skin. I think the hair tone was just too similar and it just didn't really, I don't know, it just didn't vibe for me. It didn't work. It didn't work for me at all. And I wanted it gone, so that's what I did. And here I'm just adding in, again, I just kind of am layering more and more and more on top of it to try and give it that depth and stuff like that, and make it look more 3D, I guess, less just flat. I don't know. My eyes are flat, my nose are flat, but it's like I don't want anything else to be flat. And I'm still, I wouldn't say I'm struggling to figure that out, but I'm still working on figuring out what it is that I want from my art and what it is that I want my art to look like, and that's probably just a forever thing. I will say we are also going through a bit of a storm here, so if I cut off and then come back and it sounds really weird, you know why. Come back and I'm like, I have no idea where I was. That's why, because we are getting some thunder and lightning, and a lot of rain, which is not good because we have a lot of snow. But it is what it is, and it's fine. We will get through it. I will say, using the drawing assist is kind of like, it's a little clutch. I was using it and I was just like, I feel like I'm cheating here. Like, it's so easy to do this now. Like, but it worked. I don't know. And putting that little like triangle of dark on that sleeve, I don't know what it was, but I did that and I was just like, mwah, chef's kiss. I don't know why, but that's what did it for me. I just loved that little bit there. And not like it's like anything weird or like abnormal. That's the way it always is. Like, yeah, I always do that, but I rather enjoyed it on this girl. I thought she looked really good. And then, yeah, so, and I guess I used the eraser a lot to my own benefit as well. I would lower the opacity on that one though, so that I could use it as a way to change like some of the shading and things like that. And now I'm trying again with my hair. I'm lowering the saturation again because I was like, I'm not having any of this. And then I thought with such light hair, I thought, the blue kind of bouncing off the back of it would be really pretty. And having the blue kind of come out in the shadows, just kind of give it a little bit more of a magical appearance, especially with the purple in the face. And I do add more kind of a purple thing, but this is the point where I was like, I'm going to play around, I'm going to try something, and I want to see if it works out with the hair or not. So that's what I did. That's the only thing about using the draw assist, although it was nice to try and like get things done faster for you guys. I also was like, everything looks so perfectly matchy that it's a little creepy for me. So there were some times where I would try to change that up a little bit. But yeah, so I just made sure that the purple kind of followed the way the hair was going, and then I wanted to add a deeper shadow to kind of all of the skin. I was mostly just thinking it was this, like, the fault was on the skin is kind of where I was thinking. And I wanted to have just a lot more contrast to that. And to do that, so I changed it to a hard light on the layer, and then I, did the same thing. I just kind of went back and forth with the adding it in and shading it and adding it in and smudging it and back and forth and back and forth. Again, just the same old. But I do think it looks a lot better. I think it makes it stand out a lot more, which is nice. I know this might sound a little blasphemous, but I'm almost considering thinking maybe the ears shouldn't have been so prominent, which just sounds crazy to me now that I said that out loud. But I really liked adding the purple to the skin. I thought that really kind of made it bounce. And I don't know why I stopped. It used to be a thing that I kind of always did. And purple was like a big skin color for me, and I kind of stopped, I guess, and now I'm like, I think I should go back to that because I really like it, especially with the deep pink. And putting it on the fingertips was such a thing that I used to do, so I might have to go back to that. I really liked it. And really the neck is the only place where I was like, oh, it's like indigo. It still ended up being kind of indigo, but I do like it. And then I thought with the flowers, again, I don't know, I was just trying to find balance. And the skin being so light, which I did want the skin to be light because when I think of Sleeping Beauty, I kind of think of paleness because she's just sleeping all the time. And I don't know. That just makes me think that she's probably very pale. She never leaves the house, like myself. So I tried that, and then you can see I'm kind of like unsure. So I was like, I'll try a few different kind of varieties here, and I think I continually go back to the same. It's either going to be color burn, or I forget the other one. I think it's mostly color burn that I use though, or highlight. I forget what it's called. I think it's just color burn for most of this though. Yeah, color burn. And once I did that, then I was like, okay, the hair, it definitely needs something now. So then I added in some more kind of purple, and I thought maybe that would help, but it just wasn't really working for me, I guess. And then I did a hard light. That's the other color I used a lot of. So I did color burn and then hard light, I think. And then I really liked it. I was like, okay, that's really good. The only thing I didn't like about that was I thought the purple was too much. And I tried erasing it with the pencil, but I didn't like that. So I used the airbrush, and I thought that worked out really good. And then I did the same with the other hair. And that's pretty much it, guys. I pretty much just kind of did the same thing over and over again, tested a couple of other things, and that was the end. So let me know what you think, guys. Let me know if you have any comments or questions or any ideas for any other videos. Otherwise, I'm probably going to keep on drawing cute girls because that's just what I'm into, and I hope you like it. And until next time, guys, I will see you in another video. Again, I'm sorry. Everything is so shaky. But I will see you in the next time. And actually here, I thought it was 2024 and it's 2025. Bye, guys.